the snow is almost all gone, although it's really cold and it could actually start snowing tomorrow again, but I guess we'll see. And with that in mind, what's going on today? It's kind of interesting reading this one at first. It's definitely not snowing here. I know a lot of people often fly things like drones around volcanoes. The shots look really spectacular, but apparently they're having an airspace restriction around this area. It makes me wonder, is it specifically because of, let's say, drones, or is it just everything in general? Because this one says, heads up drone pilots, the airspace around Mauna Loa's eruption is now restricted. As they mentioned here, there was a temporary flight restriction by the FAA around the area, and it says that means aircraft, including drones and helicopters, are prohibited from flying in the zone. So that would make it sound like it's just a general, I guess, ban per se, but then here it says, the recent eruption has set the scene for some breathtaking photographs, but the FAA says drones and other aircraft could interfere with emergency operations. So it's kind of interesting how here it says specifically drones and aircraft. As it says here, quote, it's a polygon-shaped TFR intended to provide aircraft safety in the airspace around the flows to prevent conflict in unsafe situations over the current eruption and lava flow fissure areas, said Jessica Farron, spokeswoman for the Hawaii Volcanoes National Park. And for the safety concerns, it says this is the area where the greatest amount of emergency relief flights and monitoring work by USGS is being conducted. Farron said, this TFR is for safety reasons. The TFR is in effect until December 8th. And you can see the NOTAM breakdown. Would you feel that's appropriate in these cases? And this was a situation that's been unfolding, which I found really interesting. It deals with Twitter and how recently, as you know, it got bought out by the billionaire Elon Musk. And there was debates about things, for example, on how whether or not it was done for items such as free speech. Well, apparently, I guess, recently, he is releasing all these documents internally that talked about the platform, I guess working with people like government officials and stuff like that to potentially, or they did by the sounds of it anyways, censor certain topics. And you can see in all these posts here, he's first here says, here we go. So this one, it seems like it revolves around that story I read where the US president's son had like a laptop or something like that, which he left at a shop, and apparently it had all these, I guess, scandalous material in there. And to my knowledge, a lot of people, for example, were saying this is completely fake. Papers were completely banned and blocked on, like, say, Twitter. People were not allowed to share it, and it ended up, by the sounds of it, being true in terms of this laptop. So here, it says the Twitter files. What you're about to read is the first installment in a series based upon thousands of internal documents obtained by sources at Twitter. The Twitter Files tells an incredible story from inside one of the world's largest and most influential social media platforms. It is a Frankensteinian tale of a human-built mechanism grown out of the control of its designer. There were so many examples, I guess, like this first one where people were posting messages, I guess, say government officials didn't like. And it says here, by 2020, requests from connected actors to delete tweets were routine. One executive would write to another, quote, more to review from the Biden team. The reply would come back handled. Imagine that. This is something people often say probably happens, but you can never prove it. I guess now it's proven. Now you would think, for example, someone big and powerful, a huge celebrity, would be safe, but according to this, nope. If you, I guess, posted something they didn't disagree with, you're pretty much, I don't know, toast too. But here it says, celebrities and unknowns alike could be removed or reviewed at the behest of a political party. So like it says here in the screenshot, for example, one person was Real James Woods, which kind of shows it doesn't matter who you are, you say something, I guess, someone at the top per se doesn't like, you're pretty much toast per se. So you gotta be careful, I guess, especially in those situations. And so with that laptop story, to my understanding before, the excuse on why they took it down was because it was apparently hacked material. But you can even see from these internal conversations, people are even saying, this won't hold up and so forth. This one here says, I'm struggling to understand the policy basis for marking this as unsafe, and I think the best explainability argument for this externally would be that we're waiting to understand if the story is a result of hacked materials. We'll face hard questions on this if we don't have some kind of solid reasoning for marking the link unsafe. I remember this one too, which made me shocked, where the US press secretary at that time, I guess, just posted about that article and all that, and she was essentially blocked with the stipulation of you better delete your link and so forth or post, otherwise we won't reinstate your account. So here she posts way back before, it says, "One day I'll explain to her what censorship is and why she had to unjustly delete mommy's tweet in order to speak." And then now recently, ever since this came out, it says, "Now I get to explain to my daughter who Elon Musk is and how he has fought for the free speech for me and millions of others." So to confirm this, for example, in terms of them banning her and so forth, apparently this conversation is with Twitter's legal and I guess the politicians or whatever. It says, "Hi Congressman Khanna, thank you for reaching out and we appreciate the heads up. We put out a clarifying thread of the tweets earlier this evening to explain our policy around the posting of private information and linking directly to hacked materials. The press secretary's account was not permanently suspended. We requested that she delete the tweet containing material that is in violation of our rules and her account is restricted until she complies. I'd be happy to jump on the phone if helpful. My team in DC are copied here and are also available to discuss." I don't see how that's clear black and white there, where there's communication of like say government officials and stuff like that working with social media companies to ban stuff that they don't agree with per se, because here it wasn't proven it was quote hacked materials or anything like that, and they just kind of went with it. That's kind of scary when you think about it. Imagine every other company that is potentially doing that. I know one comment people are having is, "Oh, now every single company, maybe a Facebook or even like a YouTube, they're all deleting their emails now. Get rid of the trace per se," if there is anything like this. But that should make you concerned in my opinion, and this covers such a wide range of topics. I've experienced that before actually on places like YouTube. You just talk about a topic and for some reason it seems like they don't like it in general, so they remove it. It's like, what is going on? But yeah, it's kind of bad to say, but I guess it's good that this is being exposed if this is all true, because hopefully people will fix a broken system if that's the case here. I can imagine topics like these too, since it's so political in many ways, people will turn a blind eye and just say, "Oh, I don't believe it because it's from this side, that side." Ultimately, like for myself, I look at from the outside, I base it on facts. It doesn't make sense when you keep censoring people. Something is going on. I guess this is kind of a crazy example to show that seems to be the case. Something was going on when you try censoring people so much in that way. Alright, see you guys later.